Hello everyone and welcome to Flash Forward, the show where I talk about every single Flash comic. This week, we are talking about The Flash Rogue's Revenge, which is a spin-off series of Final Crisis that follows the aftermath of Bart Allen's death at the hands of the Rogues, and what happens to the Rogues afterward. It's written by Jeff Johns with art by Scott Collins. So, without further ado, let's just get straight into it. The story begins in Keystone City, where the Rogues have returned after being in hiding from the cops for a while, because they're all fugitives for the murder of Bart Allen. There's a storm over the entire city, which is caused by Weather Wizard. The other Rogues are like, hey dude, can you turn off the storm? Weather Wizard can't be bothered because he's a little depressed at the moment. There's a lot of stuff that happened in his past with his brother and all that. The wind and the rain is his doing, but the lightning isn't, which makes the Rogues think that maybe the Flash has returned to Keystone City. We know that's not the case. Wally West and Jay Garrick are busy dealing with stuff in Final Crisis. Upon their arrival in Keystone City, they come across a group of thugs all dressed similarly to the Trickster. They've taken over the Rogues' base, their hidden base that's hidden behind a magical mirror that only the Mirror Master can pass through. And so, using their abilities and weapons, the Rogues deal with these guys. Captain Cold asks them not to kill anybody, but I'm pretty sure Heatwave does kill one of them. He sets one of them on fire. Maybe the guy survived with third-degree burns. It's unlikely. One of the guys tries to beg with Captain Cold, but Cold is like, sorry kid, I'm not in the mood, and just freezes the dude, and then Mirror Master traps them all in one of his little mirrors. And that's when their leader arrives. The leader of these thugs that they've taken down is Axel Walker, the second Trickster. Him showing up at the moment is a little bit weird because during Rogue War, James Jesse, who was the original Trickster, became a criminal again and took away Axel Walker's title as the Trickster and his gear and was like, you're not the Trickster anymore. And now all of a sudden, Axel is back as the Trickster. My theory on this, what I believe, is that Jeff Johns originally planned on using James Jesse during this series, but unfortunately, James died during Countdown, and so Jeff had to use Axel Walker instead. I'm assuming that's what happened. Axel Walker talks about the fact that he believed that the Rogues were all dead, but one thing he is sure on is the fact that they killed a Flash, and he's really happy about that. He starts laughing maniacally in their faces, and Cold just slams him against a wall, and it's like, it's not funny, kid. Killing a Flash isn't funny. Because we didn't kill him on purpose. It was an accident. Because we have one rule, which is not to kill. And then we got two in over our heads. This Inertia kid, who is a clone of Bart Allen, he came to us and he gave us a deal. Promised us all sorts of riches and money. And all we had to do was attack Bart Allen. But in doing so, we accidentally killed him. So that is the retcon that Jeff Johns is going with, that the Rogues never meant to kill him. Even though, when you read Flash Fastest Man Alive, they are trying to kill him. Their goal is to kill him in that book. It's not accident. You read that book, they're like, we are gonna kill the Flash today. And they're all pretty psyched about it. So this is just Jeff Johns trying to do damage control for these characters, get them back into line with their morals, because it made no sense that they would kill the Flash, because he had already established that they had a no-killing rule. And because they've killed the Flash, the Rogues plan on stopping their whole career. They're not going to be Rogues anymore. They're taking the masks off. Captain Carter's like, it's over, kid. We're done. Meanwhile, Murillo, Chaya, and Ashley Zolomon are all having a conversation about the Flash being killed by the Rogues, and they're trying to hunt down the Rogues and capture them. And at the same time, we're getting a bit of a narration from Pied Piper, Hartley Rathaway, who was there and took part in killing Bart Allen. And this is where we get another retcon by Jeff Johns, because he's still trying to do damage control on these characters, because Fastest Man Alive ruined Piper as a character. He went from a good guy to one of the murderers of Bart Allen. He retcons it that Pied Piper wasn't actually trying to kill Bart Allen, and he also wasn't on the side of the Rogues. Inertia came to him and the Trickster, James Jesse, and offered them the job for Bart Allen, not knowing that they were both good guys now. And so they decided to go undercover in the Rogues. So that's why they were there. They were undercover. It doesn't explain why they didn't do anything during the Flash Fastest Man Alive. They didn't do anything to stop the Rogues from killing Bart. They kind of just let it happen. Like, if they were there undercover trying to stop it from happening, why didn't they do anything? All he says is, oh, we failed him. It's like, yeah, you did. You failed him. That's what happens when you don't intervene. It's why this retcon doesn't really work, because you have to ignore that book for this retcon to work. Meanwhile, at the Flash Museum, Gregory Wolfe, who is the warden of Iron Heights Prison, is currently transferring Inertia, who is frozen like a statue, thanks to Wally West, is transferring him to Iron Heights Prison. But while they are trying to transfer him, a bolt of lightning strikes Inertia, freeing him from his frozen state. Gregory Wolfe is luckily knocked out by the lightning, so he survives this encounter with Inertia, but everybody else is killed by Inertia pretty brutally. He says that even though he was frozen, his mind was still moving at 1,000 miles a second, and so he thought of thousands of ways to kill people really fast. So he just takes the guy's head off, grabs the guy, smashes him against a wall, and says he's gonna see how far he can stretch the guy's intestines. Pretty edgy. The Rogues hear about this over the news and decide that they're not gonna retire yet. They've got one last job, and this job will require them to break their number one rule. So their job is gonna be to get revenge against Inertia and kill him. Meanwhile, Inertia plans on getting revenge against Wally West by heading to his house to kill his family. But while he's on the way there, he hears a voice. You're running because of me. Whoosh. Inertia gets sent flying back. I can take that away. Just like you took a great hero trying to be better away from the world. After I'm through with you, you're going to be better too. You're going to be the new Kid Flash. Professor Zoom, also known as Hunter Zolomon, appears in front of him with a new plan. And we'll see how this unfolds as the story goes on. The Rogues arrive at Gamby's shop. Gamby is the tailor of the Rogues. He makes all of their costumes. They were originally going to go to him to hand in their costumes and retire, but now they're not retiring. They still decide to visit him anyway, and when they get there, they realize the whole place has been ransacked. A lot of their costumes have been messed with, including the costume of Cold's dead sister, Lisa Snart. Whoever did this is egging him on. And then they find Gamby in pretty bad condition. He's got a mirror strapped to his chest. They take him down, they look at the mirror, and they see a group of characters in the mirror calling themselves the New Rogues. They've been hired by Libra from Final Crisis. Libra is this dude that's been getting all the supervillains together to do his bidding and work for Darkseid. he's hired these new rogues to take down the old rogues and bring them to him because he wants them. He wants the rogues to be a part of his army. The new rogues tell the old rogues that if they don't go to see Libra, they have Cold's father, Captain Cold's father, and they will kill him. And all Cold has to say to that is, fuck you, I'm gonna find you, I'm going to kill all of you, and then I'll kill my father myself, because Leonard's father is incredibly abusive, and was abusive towards his mother, his sister, and him, so he doesn't care about his father's life. Originally they were only planning on killing Inertia, but they're adding a couple more bodies to the count now. Speaking of Inertia, he tries to run away from Zoom because he doesn't want to be Kid Flash, but Zoom beats the absolute shit out of him, and Inertia's like, why are you doing this? Why are you on the Flash's side? Why are you trying to make me Kid Flash? Whose side? I'm not on their side. I'm on mine. You were cloned from Bart Allen. You became twisted, obsessed with finding your own identity, but you failed, and now you want his, so take it. I don't want it anymore. Take it and I'll teach you. Don't. And he snaps his fingers, which causes a massive explosion that hits Inertia. Why, Zoom? Why do you want me to put this on? I don't. Libra does. So Zoom is working for Libra. I do not like the fact that Libra is being forced into this book so much just to tie this into Final Crisis. It'd be better if he just wasn't a part of it. The new rogues come up with the idea to turn off all the lights in their room so that Mirror Master can't use any reflections to get the rogues in, but their abracadabra says not to, and just to let the rogues come at them, because they'll take them down. And then the rogues find them, and are like, you just made your biggest mistake. You don't know me, you don't know us. That's your first mistake. And then the rogues fight the new rogues. We got Heatwave against this guy called Burn. Heatwave's like, Gabby didn't make your suit. He made mine, which is able to resist my heat, which is much hotter than yours. I'm assuming your suit can't resist my heat. And he just shoots flames at Burn until the flames eventually break through Burn's mask, and he just gets roasted alive and dies. The new rogue's Weather Wizard tries to hit on the original Weather Wizard, and Weather Wizard is like, hey, do you like books? And she's like, no, I'm not really into books. It's like, well, then you're not my type. And he just zaps her with lightning and kills her, turning her into a roasted skeleton. It's pretty brutal. They're just killing all these new rogues like it's nothing. The new rogue's Weather Wizard is blinded by the original Mirror Master. He's like, I can't see! And then he gets attacked by the Trickster, who puts a slinky around his neck, killing him. But the slinky transforms into some snakes which attack Axel. It's because the new rogue's Abracadabra is doing this. But then Mirror Master, a whole bunch of copies of him, grab Abracadabra, and then Weather Wizard shows up and is like, for a long time now, I've been threatening to grow tornadoes in people's stomachs until they explode. And that wasn't just a threat. And he puts a tornado in Abracadabra, and the dude just blows up. It's really gross. He just pops. Ugh. It's like, whoa, okay. It's a bit much. And his blood goes all over Axel Walker's face. Keep in mind, this guy's really young. He's like a teenager, and he's just seen a guy get blown up. Pop like a balloon. Captain Cold faces this guy, Chill, and Chill believes that Cold had missed him with his freeze gun. He's like, I can't believe you missed. You must really suck. And Cold's like, I didn't miss. I just shot a wide area cold ray. It's like a cold zone. Because the guy tries to punch Cold, and his arm freezes immediately. So like, oh, the air around us is all frozen. This is how I'm able to slow down the Flash when I fight him. But against a human, or a regular person like you, it can be pretty brutal. and then he smashes the guy's arm off, walks up to him. Don't beat yourself up too much. You weren't the first to pick up my gun and try crap like this. You won't be the last. But you are today. And then he freezes the dude and smashes him to pieces. And that's it. The new rogues are all dead. And then Cold turns to one of these storage rooms. It's like, oh, is my father in there? Alright, I'll deal with that. He freezes the door and he smashes it open to go and meet with his father for the final time. Meanwhile, Pied Piper finds the location of Zoom and Inertia and watches them as Zoom trains Inertia to become the new Kid Flash. Cold has his long-awaited reunion with his father and thinks back to all the abusive memories that he suffered as a kid. He tells his father that Lisa is dead. He says, I'm sorry. And Cold is like, look me in the eyes and tell me that. And his father doesn't even look at him. He kind of turns his head, but doesn't look him in the eyes. Leonard blames his father for Lisa's death, because if it weren't for him, she never would have left. And his father blames him for her death, because he's like, it's because you left that she left. And then she became a stupid criminal and got herself killed. You're the reason she ended up wearing that mask. That's on you. Her death is on you. So what? What now? It ain't bad enough you dragged me and your sister into your little game. Now you think putting me in an ice cube is gonna make everything alright? And Cold draws his ice gun on him? You think that'll make you feel better? You're just like your mother was. Don't talk about Mom. Weak. One bruise and the waterworks started. You were the same way after she left. One bruise, and then Cold just punches him straight in the face. When's the last time you cried, Lenny? Leonard holds his gun at his dad, but can't shoot him. He can't kill his own father. So he leaves, and then he turns to Heatwave. It's like, you do it, Mick. And then Mick Rory kills Captain Cold's father, roasting him. Feel better? No. But it was worth a shot. The rogues decide to head back to a place called the Observatory, so that they can figure out what Inertia are and track them down and kill Inertia. Cold tells Mick to burn the whole place to the ground because they have no use for it anymore. And then Axel points out the fact that they have a no-killing role, and yet they've already killed a bunch of people. And Mirror Master has to explain to him that the reason why they killed the new rogues is because these guys were lampooning as rogues, trying to take their turf, trying to take their role. You can't do that. If you want to be a rogue, you can't just tell Cold that you want to be a rogue. You have to tell him why you need to be a rogue, and then he might listen to you. Otherwise, you're probably gonna be dead. And so Axel is going to have to figure that out himself, otherwise he'll end up like those new rogues. Libra learns of the fact that the new rogues are dead and comes up with a new plan. He plans on using Weather Wizard to bring in the rogues because he wants them at any cost. And he'll do anything. And the way that he's going to use Weather Wizard is by holding his son hostage. Because Mark has a son. He's got a little baby boy who has the same abilities as Weather Wizard. Not sure how Libra got his hands on this kid. I guess it might be explained. Last time we saw this kid, he'd been adopted by Iris West, so I guess she just lost him? Or put him up for adoption and then he got stolen? I don't know, maybe we'll find out. We get some flashbacks of Mark Marden and the death of his brother when he went to visit him one time. His brother was going to call the police on him, and Mark activated his weather wand and killed his brother. In the present day, the rogues arrive at the observatory to find a secret room that was created by the villain known as the Top, and using this room they can track speedsters, so they plan on tracking the Inertia. They find a signal from outside the city, so Mirror Master sends out a bunch of mirrors so that he can scope the city. Eventually, he sees Inertia, but they also see Zoom, At first they think Inertia is Kid Flash, but then they realize it's Inertia wearing Kid Flash's costume. And when they see Zoom, they're like, whoa, what the hell is Zoom doing there? You must be using him for some reason. Well, I guess we gotta confront Zoom as well. Let's go find Inertia and kill him. Meanwhile, Zoom continues his training with Inertia. He tries to teach Inertia his abilities, like snapping his fingers to create explosions. These are supposed to be time explosions, because Zoom has the ability to move forward and backward in time, instead of using super speed. He tells Inertia that in order to use his abilities, he needs to listen to the tick of his heart and the tick of other hearts. And he's trying to teach Inertia the trick to tragedy, causing tragedy to others so that they can grow from their tragedy. And that he plans on using Inertia to cause tragedy to the Teen Titans, because Bart Allen was a member of the Teen Titans, so if Inertia goes there wearing his costume, he can be like the ghost of Kid Flash. That's the plan that he has with Inertia. But before they can enact this plan, the Rogues arrive. A giant bowl of ice almost crushes Zoom and Inertia, but they're able to get out of the way. The Rogues are here, and they're like, we're gonna kill you, Inertia. We weren't planning on fighting Zoom. We don't really want anything to do with you, Zoom. We just came to kill that kid. Zoom's just like, Rogues! I hate Rogues! And so he starts fighting the Rogues and attacking them. Weather Wizard attacks Inertia, catching him up in a tornado. Zoom grabs his leg, he's like, stay out of my way, and throws Inertia aside, and then continues to fight the Rogues. He's like, you're a waste, Rogues. You only serve to occupy the Flashes. You don't do what I do. You don't contribute to their growth. You should have retired a long time ago. And he goes to snap his fingers, but then Piper's music begins playing, which distracts them. He shows up, starts using his music to cause all of the Rogues to fall onto the ground, hurting their ears. And then he starts kicking the shit out of Mirror Master, because Mirror Master killed his parents. He's like, yeah, it's about time I got revenge for my parents. I didn't forget about that. And then he gets stabbed in the shoulder from behind by a spear, because Libra has arrived, holding Joshua Jackham, the son of Weather Wizard. I trust you're all tired of these games as I am. We can make this easy if you just listen. You, Zoom, Inertia, even the Pied Piper, have a place within my secret society. His voice. Don't listen, Mick. Don't let it get in your head. Look at the fire. Keep your eyes on it. What's Libra doing here? Wasting his breath. The Rogues will never be a part of this. Your son bounced around a while until your mother came forward to claim him, but she didn't want anything to do with you, not after what you've done. Do you want your son, Weather Wizard? If you do, you'll pledge your loyalty to the God of Evil. If not, I'll drink his blood in sacrifice. When I was a child, there was only one person who looked out for me. One person who wanted to help me. My brother. My brother was the only good thing in this world. But I murdered him. I murdered my brother because I couldn't stand the idea of going back to prison. If I killed my brother, Libra, if I electrocuted the only person who ever cared about me, what makes you think I care anything about that child? Then prove me wrong, Weather Wizard. Just say no. Code, this is Martin's call. And they look at each other. It's a very intense stare between Weather Wizard and Libra. And then Inertia gets impatient. Oh, enough! Who gives a damn? Inertia. He turns to Joshua Jackham. He puts his fingers together and he's like, nap time! Snaps his fingers. Massive explosion happens. And Joshua Jackham dies. Inertia destroys this innocent baby, which is insane. Probably the most this is one of the most insane things that has happened in a Flash comic, where a baby has been killed. This is the second time that Jeff Johns has killed some babies, because he killed Linda and Wally's babies when she was still pregnant with them at the time, and now, luckily that was undone, but now he's killed Joshua Jackham, and this doesn't get undone. This is his official death. He never comes back. This baby is dead. And this throws Libra off. He's like, oh shit, he actually killed the kid. And this pisses Zoom off. Like, what did you do? I'm doing what you told me to. I'm listening to my clock. tick, tick, tick. And it's like Weather Wizard said, I'm gonna be your sidekick. And Inertia whips up a tornado. I'm not Inertia. I'm not Kid Flash. I'm Kid Zoom, and I'm gonna cause a whole lot of tragedy. Libra continues to try to recruit the rogues, but Inertia interrupts him, beats the shit out of him, grabs his spear and prepares to kill him, but then Zoom stops him. He's like, you listen to me! Tragedy cannot be random. It must be calculated. No, you're not taking it far enough, Zoom. You want them to actually work through it. I don't. I want them to fail. I want them to lose. And he grabs Zoom by the head, and I want them to be in pain when they do. It's like, what are you? You gave me one end of the string of your time power so I could move like you. I'm unraveling the sweater. Tick, tick, tick. I'm pushing you backwards, Zoom. I'm stealing your time. And we get to see like all the memories of Zoom as Inertia pushes them, Zoom's entire memories back, his entire history backward, because apparently he can do that. And he reverts Zoom back to his former self. Just Hunter Zolomon, regular old Hunter Zolomon, in a wheelchair. And then he plans on killing Zoom, and that's when he's stopped by Cold. Because like, first you kill a baby, now you're gonna kill a guy in a wheelchair? You're really low. No such thing as honor among thieves. Don't you guys get that? I can run through fire. Not my fire. Hey kid. Catch. Trickster bomb gets thrown at him, and he explodes. Inertia continues to fight the rogues. You think I'm as weak as Kid Flash? You wouldn't have hurt him if it wasn't for me. Your cold field might slow me down, but it won't stop me, Cold. Nothing will. Especially not the rogues. And he just smashes Cold in the face. Inertia's really getting the upper hand against the rogues. But that's when Piper is able to catch him off guard with his sound. You think I have nothing to contribute, you little snot? And Cold asks Weather Wizard if he wants to kill Inertia. Like, we started this together, Cold. Let's end this together. Kill you! Hey, sure you will. This isn't for my son. This isn't for Kid Flash. They all point their weapons at Inertia. Inertia just gets that feeling in his face. You see the look on his face. He knows it's over. This is for one fucked up year. And they all blast Inertia at the same time with their weapons. Inertia falls backward, and he's dead. The rogues have killed Inertia and gotten revenge for everything that he's done, including for what he's done to the Flash. They've technically helped the Flash. Even though they were doing it for themselves, they still believe that the Flash owes them one for this. Libra, after all this, still tries to recruit the rogues, saying that if they join him, they will get to see the Flash of Central City die, and the rogues tell him to screw it, fuck off, and they head into the reflection of a nearby puddle and escape. And Libra truly believes that evil is going to win, and we've already read Final Crisis. If you haven't seen my Final Crisis video, go check that out, because you'll see evil never wins. And that the rogues were smart for not siding with Libra. The police find Inertia's dead body, and the rogues return to the observatory, where they talk about the fact that a Flash has returned. The Flash that they all know. And they refer to him as the most serious of all the Flashes. He's a Flash that doesn't play games. He treats all of the rogues the same way he would treat somebody like Grodd or Kadabra. They kind of downplay Wally a bit by saying that Wally was all just in it for fun and games, which isn't the case. Wally was very serious about being the Flash. I don't like the fact that he's kind of shat on a little bit here. Like, he's not the serious one. The Flash they're talking about is obviously Barry Allen, because during Final Crisis, Barry Allen returned. He is alive. He's back in Central City, and it's only a matter of time before he tracks down the rogues and takes them out. And originally the rogues were going to retire, but now they're not going to retire anymore, because they got to be ready for when they face Barry Allen again. And we get a shot of Barry Allen running straight towards us. Gotta be careful, we might get hit by him. And this story continues in Flash Rebirth, which we will get to eventually, just not for a few weeks. And that's it for Flash Rogue's Revenge. Overall, I really enjoyed this story. I'm glad that I finally got to see Inertia get his due. But I did not like the fact that Libra was forced into this story. That is the only part of this book that sucked, was the fact that all this Final Crisis stuff was stuffed into this. And this book isn't even necessary for Final Crisis. You don't even need to read it. Libra is in it, but if you've read Final Crisis, you would know that Libra's plan barely has any effect on anything in Final Crisis. He kind of just loses really easily. But yeah, with the Libra stuff aside, this was really good. This was a great book about the rogues getting their revenge. It does what the name says. And I'm looking forward to seeing where the Flash goes next. And if you're looking forward to seeing where the Flash goes next, then stay tuned. And please like and subscribe. And I will see you next week for the next Final Crisis tie-in spin-off, which is a Legion of Three Worlds. I think that's the next one. Yeah, Legion of Three Worlds. So I'll see you then. Have a good one.